Week 16 of the NFL season is over, and as Week 17 begins, let's do an update on the AFC North. And while nothing is set in stone as far as the standings are concerned as of yet, we are getting a bit of a clearer picture on how this division is rounding out late in the season here. Starting with the still division leading Bengals at 11-4, they have clinched a spot in the NFL playoffs with a road victory over the Patriots 22-18. The first half looked like this was going to be a rout of the Patriots, the Bengals scoring right out of the gate on a touchdown pass to T. Higgins. The extra point there is missed. And then the Bengals scoring again on a touchdown pass to Trent Irwin, a strike from Burrow there. But Mixon is stuffed on the 2-point try. 12-0, but still a pretty good start for the Bengals despite the after touchdown failures there. And then the Patriots punter drops a ball, is able to get a punt away, but it is pretty bad. And that Bengals drive did stall on a goal-to-go thanks to a holding call on a Joe Mixon touchdown run, but McPherson is able to make a short field goal, extended lead to 15-0 early in the second. Burrow would throw a red zone pick. New England looked like they have some life, but that drive would stall for the Patriots. And Joe Burrow getting some redemption, leading a 2-minute drive the length of the field, capping it off with another Trent Irwin touchdown catch to have the Bengals take a 22-0 lead into halftime. So you figure that would be pretty safe and it would be a routine win for the Bengals. However, and after an initial early third quarter looking like it was going to be more Bengal dominance, Joe Burrow throwing another interception amid some heavy pressure. This time, Marcus Jones does not leave it into the hands of the Patriot offense. He returns that ball all the way for a touchdown with an impressive run back, but that extra point is also missed for the Patriots. So it was definitely bad kicking conditions across the whole games for the AFC North. Kind of gross weather, coldy, windy, just a bunch of gross weather in the AFC North games last week. Patriots defense would hold, and the offense was finally able to do something as the third quarter ended, but with the Bengals still up 16. So you figured, not the best third quarter, but the Patriots are still kind of at bay. But the fourth quarter would begin on a long completion to set the Patriots up inside the Bengals 10, and then Mac Jones found Kendrick Bourne in the back of the end zone. Cam Taylor-Britt there on the coverage looked like maybe he could have just turned around to defend the ball, but he never got his head back on it. Kendrick Bourne able to catch it. The 2-point try from the Patriots to get it within a one-score game fails, so it's still a 2-score game, 10-point lead for the Bengals. And then Burrow and Irwin almost connect on a third touchdown catch, but they missed just by a little bit. And Evan McPherson missing a 43-yard field goal. Again, bad weather. You still like to see him make that one, though. A couple of really bad calls go against the Bengals' way on some video review. I thought they ruled it a catch. I thought it was clearly incomplete as he dropped it after the ball hit the ground, but whatever. And then the next one was even more egregious, where it looked like Mac Jones got strip sacked, but they call it an incomplete pass because he kind of moved his hand forward, but I thought the ball was out by then. Either way, a couple of really bad calls. In the next play on a 3rd and 29 is that tip drill from Scotty Washington to Jacoby Myers, and the Patriots get it into the end zone, officially back in the game. But I think it was a tipped extra point from the Bengals, keeping it a 4-point game, so the Patriots would have to score at least another touchdown in this one. But then Jamar Chase fumbled, giving New England a short field. And then 1st and goal at the 5 for the Patriots, looking like they might take the lead and then probably come back from this one. It would be Ramondre Stevenson fumbling on 1st and goal there, and the Bengals defense would hold as the Patriots got one more shot very late in the game with no timeouts. Bengals defense holds there, and the game was over 22-18. Not a super convincing win for the Cincinnati Bengals, especially. You'd like to see them maybe put the Patriots away in a bit more of an orderly fashion after jumping out to that huge first half lead. But however, it is still a win against the Patriots team that is desperate for trying to get their way back into a playoff spot. So you'll take those wins any way you can get them, obviously. But it does keep them in the division lead, and it gets them into the playoffs. Again, you're probably not going to be able to get away with that kind of second half collapse against a good team in the playoffs, but for now, if it's a one-time thing, then they'll be okay. But this game is something to kind of keep in the back of your mind as the Bengals move forward in this season. And the Bengals' next game is at home against the Bills on Monday Night Football. Definitely a premier matchup there for the final Monday Night Football game of the season. Moving on to the second place Ravens at 10-5. They have also clinched a spot in the playoffs. They with their home win against the Falcons, 17-9. So I just went over that game into the Bengals. A lot of action, a lot of scoring, a lot of twists and turns. Not so much with this game. Still Tyler Huntley at the quarterback position for Baltimore. The Ravens opening up the scoring with a chip shot field goal in the first quarter. A 55-yarder from the Ravens is blocked later in the first. And the first quarter would end 3-0. The Falcons struggling to do really much of anything on offense under Desmond Ridder. Ravens getting another chip shot field goal in the second quarter. Falcons convert a 4th and 2, but actually don't because Marlon Humphrey forcing a fumble, and Baltimore would recover that. Huntley would connect with Demarcus Robinson for a touchdown, and then Huntley would also run in a 2-point conversion, 14-0 in the second quarter. And then right before halftime, the Falcons would doink in a field goal, 14-3. Second half, not a whole lot going on as far as scoring goes. The Falcons and Ravens both trading short field goals, and that's how you get to the final score of 17-6. Ravens beating another not good team in another low-scoring effort. The Ravens defense, what you're seeing from them is pretty encouraging, but this offense is going to have to wake up at some point in the playoffs. You can't win every game like this in the playoffs. Usually you have to put up at least one good offensive performance. And, even if you're rationalizing it with their backup quarterback is in, it's just been the Lamar Huntley. It's just been the Tyler Huntley show as of late. The offense has looked really start and stop. It's kind of shut down in key moments, even with Lamar Jackson at the helm. You look at some of those losses early on in the season where, yes, the defense did collapse, but the offense didn't really do anything to help them out late in those games either. So maybe that's something to look forward to. I know Greg Roman's been under fire as of late. Who knows if his coaching career with the Ravens lasts beyond this season. And for the Ravens, their next game is at home against the Steelers in a divisional matchup that could be important depending on how this Bengals-Bills game goes. Maybe that's the game that gets them back into the top of the division there. Speaking of the Steelers, they improved to 7-8. They are not out of the playoffs race quite yet, although their chances are still quite slim. They get the victory at home against the Raiders, 13-10. Hunter Renfrow finding the end zone first to give the Vegas Raiders a 7-point lead. That was the only points in the first quarter, and ended with Pittsburgh on a drive, though. That drive would end with Chris Boswell missing a 43-yarder. Steelers getting the ball back. Boswell getting some redemption with a 44-yard field goal late in the half, but the Raiders getting a late field goal of their own, half ending with the Steelers trading 10-3. Pittsburgh driving to start the second half before Kenny Pickett threw a pretty bad interception, but the Steelers got it right back off of the tip drill on another interception there, and that Steelers drive turned into another missed 52-yard field goal. So even without the conditions, that would have been a pretty tough field goal there to make. Another pass off of a Raiders receiver's hands is picked off, this time by Minkah Fitzpatrick. Both offenses faltering in the third quarter. No score there. Still 10-3 Las Vegas heading into the fourth. In the fourth, early on, the Steelers going on a long drive, that only getting a field goal out of it, though, to cut the Raider lead to 4. But the Pittsburgh Steelers would get the ball back with time running low. A crucial 4th and 1 sneak kept the drive going. And in the waning seconds, the Kenny Pickett to George Pickens connection found the end zone. Steelers took the lead. Cam Sutton with the game-sealing interception, and the Steelers get that one. And while I'm definitely no Steeler fan by any stretch of the imagination, I hate them as much as the next guy, but them getting a win on Franco Harris night in remembrance of him did kind of warm my heart just a little bit to see a kind of a nice ending to a tribute to a person who seemed to be, I wasn't really, I'm obviously not very alive when he was doing the stuff he was doing, but, he was definitely seemed like a positive force both on and off the field. So nice to see something good happen in the night in remembrance of him. The next game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, like I just mentioned, is on the road against the Ravens in a division matchup where both teams have playoff implications riding there, so that should be a good game for there. And now on to the new basement dwellers, the Cleveland Browns. They have been eliminated from playoff contention with their loss at home against the Saints, 17-10. I did kind of go over this game a few days ago on the 26th, I believe. I'll put a little thing up for that video there, but I will give a little bit of coverage for it here. The Browns' issues, obviously, we saw this season they go beyond just needing a good quarterback. There, we've seen some baffling coaching decisions. Joe Woods has had another year of a lackluster defense, even though there seems to be talented pieces there. It's been gross, more baffling 4th down decisions and terrible run defense. If they're just using this game to test out what they have in Deshaun Watson, why? Yes, you don't have much chance of making the playoffs even if you win, but if you're not trying to win this late in the season, what's the point really? And by the way, Deshaun Watson, it's not like he was setting the world on fire. He's definitely improved from his first game back, but you can tell that he is not used to playing in the cold very consistently, but he did have some touchdown passes that were dropped. However, it is still it's a little concerning that this was another game where the offense only scores 1 touchdown. There is yet to be a Deshaun Watson-led game where the Browns score more than 1 offensive touchdown, which is whatever. There's no way Joe Woods is coming back to coach the defense next season. At least there is no way if they're trying to actually get better and improve, or maybe they just want to keep their friends as jobs for coaches, whatever. The drops were brutal for the Browns in this one. They spread like a virus, starting with Amari Cooper slipping and dropping a wide open touchdown. David Bell had a pass go off his hands for an interception that led to a Saints touchdown. And then Donovan Peoples-Jones and David Njoku both dropping passes in the end zone on the final possession that could have led to the Browns tying this game. I just wanted to end this with, like, is there anything more Cleveland Browns than getting eliminated from the playoffs after losing a winter game against a team from the South that plays in a dome in your final home game? That just sounds like a Cleveland Browns sentence through and through. The Browns' next game is on the road against the Commanders. Nothing really for the Browns to do as far as playoffs besides play spoiler against the Commanders and also the Steelers coming up. So that's pretty much it for the AFC North. Thank you for watching this video if you made it this far around. Once again, I'm not going to do the whole outro thing, just kind of end the video.